Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I'm going to try not to swear in this one.
And I'm Gary. And today we're taking a look at Dead Rising Watchtower, which came out in 2015 by the Crackle Network. Okay, now if you might be aware that Dead Rising is an established video game series from Capcom. There have been 3 games in the series, starting with Dead Rising, which starred Frank West, Dead Rising 2, which starred Chuck Green, and Dead Rising 3, which featured some dude. And the get up and go for these is that they're sandbox, zombie survival, zombie action,
Zombie
games where you create lots of different weapons and kill ridiculous amounts of zombies in any fashion you see fit.
And uncover a story of why the zombies.
And uncover a convoluted conspiracy theory as to why the zombies are there. But that's the video game series. Let's move on to the movie adaptation. Iain, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, the story follows Chase, an internet reporter who is trying to uncover a story in Oregon. Oregon has been quarantined by the American government because zombie outbreaks have started to flourish around the city. This film is set between Dead Rising 2 and 3, and Chase starts to uncover that the government and the military are actually fixing the Zombrex supplies that keep people from turning into zombies so that they can actually create this tracer technology thing that they put into the zombie people and follow them around. But as Chase gets caught in the city, we follow him as he tries to escape.
And there have been so many video game to movie adaptations, and as gamers we watch these movies and we bow our heads in shame over and over and over again. It is a running theme that all of these adaptations are awful. There are a few exceptions. Some people would say that, yes, Silent Hill was a good adaptation. I would argue that. I will argue that Dead Rising Watchtower is perhaps the best adaptation of a video game to a movie.
Are you crazy?
Because straight away we're introduced to zombies and some guy just running through the horde. And straight away I laughed because of the first 2 zombies I saw, there were 2 female zombies. They were both dressed the same and looked the same. And for me it was just like the reoccurring zombies that would pop up in a Dead Rising game where there was clones of the zombies. And then from there, the versatility of the weapons that he uses to try and fight off the cop. He uses the rubbish bag. He uses a toaster. He uses whatever is around him. And I just, straight away, I'm hooked. I'm like, they've got that from the video game, that from the video game, that from the video game. And it's just there.
But that's not enough. It's not enough. This is the problem when you change video games into films. Sticking this stuff in the background, using it in a few scenes isn't enough. You have to keep using it so that people go, oh, it's like I'm actually playing the game. You know, Doom did it. Let's have lots of conversational pieces and then bring up the BFG. Oh my God, do you remember in Doom when there was loads of conversational? No, there was not. Remember in Resident Evil when you played as Alice? No, because nobody played as fucking Alice. And then the same with this. I got into the first 10 minutes and yes, I sat there thinking, wow, you know, the special effects on those zombies are quite cool. I like people who do that, the special effects that they go through and the fact that it takes hours to put on this makeup and the details and this, that and the next thing. And then it goes a few days earlier and I really fucking hate that. Do not start something really exciting and then make it go back to the boring bit. Start with the boring bit and work your way up. Because we go a few days earlier and we see Chase.
This is Chase Carter, wasting his time and yours from False Alarmville, USA.
And it is explained to us from some woman in some reporter in a news studio that yes, the city of Oregon has been completely walled off. That's amazing.
Within 12 hours, which is a record for Feza.
Yeah, you know, a couple of zombie outbreaks, and instead of just trying to contain it, we're just going to shut off the whole city. You know,
but they managed to do that in Dead Rising 2, the game.
And then we follow Chase as he's trying to uncover this story, and he's really bored because there are no zombies. Well, then let's just wait until the zombies turn up. And we see a couple of people inside the tent, and a guy gets given Zombrex, and it seems to accelerate his zombie infection. He becomes a zombie really, really quickly, and so does the next guy, and so does the next guy. There's a guy outside who should have been getting Zombrex but didn't, and he falls over and turns into a zombie. And it turns out into that scene like in 28 Days Later. Not saying that 28 Days Later is a zombie film. No, it's not. It turns out to the scene like in that film where everybody's just screaming and running and going, oh my god, let's just get out of here. We've not ever dealt with zombies before. Hold on a minute. Isn't this the same universe that Frank West was in the Willamette? Yes, because we've just met Frank West in the news studio. And he's telling you, and he's released a book about how you should create weapons and deal with zombies. But these people in Oregon are so... I told you I wasn't going to swear. So stupid, they just run around like crazy Neanderthals, and they just run. And then we follow Chase, and he meets up with some girl called Crystal, who I was suspicious from right from the start because, well, that's how her character was portrayed. She was suspicious. There was something weird about her. The camera. Why did they put the camera on everything? Why was the camera on the end of the stick looking at Chase while he's hitting the zombie? Why is the camera on the zombie looking up Chase while he's hitting... It doesn't work in this because you just... It cuts so quickly that it cuts back. You don't put it in a zombie film. We want the focus on the zombie killing. It's Dead Rising. We want thousands of zombies on screen. We want people making loads of weapons. They make weapons and they use them for about 10 seconds.
Hey! You ready to die, you brain dead zombie fucks? Come and get it!
Yes, I will grant you that. The scene when they first go into the store, and I just wanted to pause the film and just look at all of the background things. You can see the teddy bear in the corner, the chainsaw up on the shelf, the fuel cans, the surfboards, the golf clubs, the t-shirts. It was just like you walked into like the be all and end all store of Dead Rising games in one location, and I kind of liked that. I was just like, yeah, I would have comboed that with that, with that, with that, and it's like, who's got the duct tape? Let's start making some weapons.
It shouldn't be in the background. It should be the forefront. It should be the main thing. Instead, we're following Jesse Metcalfe. My God, Jesse, you just should not star.
Okay, well, let's look at the rest of the actors in the film. And granted, the majority of them are all TV actors.
Yeah.
Jesse Metcalfe, who plays Chase, again, TV actor. You've got Meghan Ory, who plays Crystal, again, another TV actress. You've got Keegan-Connor Tracy, who plays Jordan, who I do remember from the Battlestar Galactica reboot series. You've also got Dennis Haysbert, who was President Palmer in the 24 TV show. You've got Rob Riggle as Frank West, who again has also done a lot of TV. And then you've got Virginia Madsen.
Yeah.
I love Virginia Madsen. I've loved her since The Electric Dreams. She was fantastic in Candyman. And when I saw her turn up in this, I kind of wanted to eat my own fist a little bit.
Yeah, see, for me, she was kind of like the only partial saving grace in this film because she's a credible actress.
Definitely.
And so I believed that she was a mother who had lost her daughter and was starting to slightly go insane as this travesty was going on.
She's such a wonderful little child. I'm gonna feel much better when I can get to her. You should eat.
But I sat there and I'm like, is she acting badly, or is the surrounding film making her acting bad? Because I don't want the focus on her. I don't want the focus on any of these characters. I don't give a crap about the conspiracy about the government and how this zombie outbreak happened. What I want are you to make loads of weapons and to go out there and kill all those zombies. You only see like 10 zombies on screen at a time, maybe 20. Those zombies should all be should all be dead. Because that's the point of a Dead Rising game. When you played Dead Rising and you made a weapon, you didn't go outside and see all the zombies and go, no, actually, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to go over and talk to this person over here. The one thing that annoyed me really badly about Dead Rising 1 was Otis constantly calling you, that radio constantly going off, because as you're in the middle of a fight and wiping out 45 to 50 zombies, he's constantly ringing you going, hey Frank, there's a guy over there that you might want to save. Hey Frank, there's somebody over there. And you're just like, shut the up, Otis. In this film, it was like Otis was constantly ringing me, but with no zombie killing.
Let me tell you something. Read my book.
Oh, Jesus.
Chapter 5, I specifically tell you, you can't worry about technicalities, okay? Screw the rules. You got to improvise. Think on your feet. Use what you can, when you can, where you can. Maybe they shoot you down like a dog. Maybe they don't. But I'll tell you one thing. Talking to us ain't going to help you at all.
Tonally, this film didn't know which direction to go in. And tonally, I would also say that the games don't know which direction to go in. I'm going to look at Dead Rising 2, where the main character is his daughter needs the Zombrex, and so every day he's panicking and struggling to keep his daughter alive to find Zombrex. Yet, so he has an emotional attachment to his daughter, and he has this this to deal with, and then he goes and rescues a lion or a tiger and brings it back as a pet for his daughter. So I'm like, it's like, what? But so look, I mean, tonally, the games shift back and forth. The film does the exact same thing. You'll have something really silly and stupid, which will make you laugh, and then you get the piano playing in this really somber scene where characters are talking about the horrors of life. There should have been perhaps, more cannon fodder. I do like the couple that run out to the biker gang. Ask him for help.
No, that's, oh God, Jesus Christ. You want to bring up that scene? I'm going to bring up that goddamn scene. Two people hiding in an alleyway, and they see these crazy people on bikes. So what do you do when you see crazy people on bikes during a zombie apocalypse? You go towards them and ask them for help. Yes, because that's like walking up to Lord Humongous and asking him to be your friend. He walks up to him and he just goes, yeah, man, can we go with you? And so the psycho goes, yeah, it's going to cost you 10,000. Oh, I haven't got no money. So he punches him. The psycho punches the guy and knocks him out. What happened to that guy? Did he get eaten by zombies? Did he get turned into a zombie? I don't know. He just seemed to disappear at that point. Then we follow his girlfriend. Miss cliched, I'm going to wear stilettos and a short skirt and a really tight top to show off my assets. I'm going to run down the street in these heels, because that's always works in a zombie apocalypse. And then I'm going to jump up on top of this car. And I saw the biker ride up to her and go, you want a lift? And she's like, yes, save me now. And he's like, well, you shouldn't have run. And he drives off. And I'm like, watch her die. 3, 2, 1, and she's dead. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, go on.
Well, that's exactly like what happens in the video games. The amount of survivors you see standing on top of cars going, help me.
And how many of those survivors did you leave to die? Or how many of them did you actually try and go over to save?
I tried to rescue most of them, but I'm not a psychopath.
This is it.
What I like about the psychopath character is that he doesn't always give a shit. There's moments later on in the film where he's like, you know what, now I'm going to get my revenge on Crystal.
I'm not done with her yet. I'm gonna rip every little piece.
And then all of a sudden something happens.
Kill her.
And he's like, ah, fuck it, just kill her. I'm done with that. Move on.
No. He does the James Bond boss failure. He stands there. He totally overpowers her. He totally overpowers her, and he throws her into the room. And you're like, okay, we're gonna build up to a big rape scene now. So let's get prepared because this might be a bit tense. And he explains to her his whole plan. He goes, oh look, I've got this bomb. I'm going to try and keep this city. I'm going to blow up the wall and let all the zombies out, and I'm going to be king of the zombies. And I'm like, you fucking asshole, you're going to lose it all now. You should have just shot her when you had the chance, because she's already overpowered you, what, once? Twice? And you think you're going to get away with her this time?
No! No! I don't want out of this shit! I'm taking this shit with me!
And then, yeah, when she escapes, he's like, oh no, I'm not finished with her yet. I'm like, just fucking, somebody died. Just kill her. Kill Chase. Kill everybody. I just want to see zombies. Frank West, Rob Riggle playing Frank West, was partially, for me, the saving grace. Partially. Because he really started to grate on my tits after a while. He starts off being all funny. Oh yeah, I've just released this book. You're all pretty much fucked. You need to make weapons. You're going to have to kill your family. I'm like, okay, that was funny. That was funny. The 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Is he not going to turn up and help Chase? 9th. No, he's just going to sit there in this 10th. Oh my God, Frank, you're really beginning to do my head in. Where's Chase? Oh, Chase is still alive. Fuck, he's still alive.
How much hope do they have? You're basically f***ed. Sorry, but you are.
That's great. Your book must have just been one page. You're basically is basically all it said.
No, it's a lot of pages. It's
A lot, you must be 100 times.
Two main things in the Dead Rising games that always made the games interesting was the bees and the nighttime. You never wanted to be out in the sandbox area at night. Mainly because the zombies turned feral and were a lot stronger and tougher and faster. So you usually spent a lot of your time hiding out in your safe room. But then you realized that there were certain people at night that you had to go and save. So you had to go out there, and it made it tense. It made it scary. They go into a pawn shop. Not that type of pawn, the one that you sell stuff at. They go into a pawn shop and it turns into nighttime. And you see, what, 2 zombies outside, walking slowly. And so I was like, well, this is a Dead Rising game. They're supposed to be feral. Shouldn't they be at the glass, smashing the crap out of the place? You know, they should be getting ready to fight off a horde of zombies that have turned... No, it's not. We're just going to have more conversational pieces building up, you know, the reporting and Crystal. And like you said, Virginia Madsen, which obviously doesn't make it any more enjoyable because you just want to see zombies. The Queen Bees. In Dead Rising 1, when the Queen Bees turned up, you were actually like, oh my God, this is a new type of weapon to use to fight against zombies. I don't have to keep smashing them into pieces. Any Queen Bees in this, Gary?
No.
No.
Turn off your televisions. Put down your phones and run for your goddamn life.
But this film does have some cool weapons. Some crazy combinations of some weapons that we've seen in the video games. It's got the sadistic biker gang. It's got psycho boss battles. It's got the countdown until the firebombing of the city.
Oh my God.
It has all of the visual flares of the game put into a movie, which is why I was constantly reminded that I was watching the Dead Rising movie video game adaptation. Now here's what I'm going to say, is like I said at the beginning of the video, Dead Rising is not a brilliant game. It's not a perfect game. It is flawed in so many ways. It has flawed storytelling, it has flawed gameplay mechanics, but it's a fun game. And this movie is a lot of fun to watch.
That's the funniest thing I've heard for Dead Rising Watchtower. And I watched the film. I did not laugh at all. Even when the zombie clown got his head smashed in. I didn't laugh because I was expecting the zombie to die. Because we'd already flashed back to the fact that Chase was in that situation and so he had to be saved. I was waiting for people to run out and stick all those plastic heads onto zombies and let them bounce around. That would have been funny. I was waiting for them to actually make, cool weapons. But the only time he actually used a cool weapon was on the psycho boss at the end. Where were the laser torches? Where was the torch with the diamonds? She puts like 4 torches in a bag. Why would you need 4 torches? Oh, it's because I'm going to maybe go to a jewelry store and find some diamonds later and make some lightsabers. Okay, does she? No, she doesn't. You keep flicking back to Chase's camera woman at the military base or the wall place. And they're like, oh look, the army's turned up. I'm like, right, okay, I've played Dead Rising, so every time the army turns up, they're usually the bad guys. They're usually the guys that have orchestrated most of this. Spoilers! They orchestrated this as well. And then they go, oh, we've got 48 hours into a firebombing. That was close to the game. Because in the game, they say to you, you have like 48 hours to solve everything or you're going to die. And I'm like, you know what? I really hope he doesn't solve this because I just want to see the city burn.
Roger that, Sky Captain. Starting a rundown.
There is another bit that made me laugh when the zombie outbreak has first occurred, and there's a guy in the wheelchair, and you see a zombie grab him and pull him back. I was like, poor bastard. And then there's a scene later on where you can see that guy in his wheelchair as a zombie, and Virginia Madsen gets out of the car, goes over, flips the zombie out of the wheelchair, and then gets back in the car and sits down again. And I was like, that's just cruel. I
didn't understand that bit. Okay, so the zombie grabbed him at the beginning and bit him.
Yeah. And then as a zombie, he got back in the wheelchair. Or he didn't die there, but he got back in his wheelchair.
The zombies should have torn that guy apart. It was like the easiest meal. But then they just kept him alive to turn it into a joke later on, which wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny, but it made me laugh because it wasn't funny and because I just understand the motivation of Virginia Madsen's character just to get out of her car just to go and torment that zombie.
Okay.
I did also cringe a little bit when earlier in the film you see this father with a child sort of strapped to his chest during the outbreak, and then later on in the film you see that father as a zombie and a bloody sort of mess strapped to his chest. I thought that was pretty gruesome. And it was pretty dark, and the film really didn't need to go there, but at the same time, it's a zombie movie. We're used to seeing blood, guts, and entrails. I will say that the zombie kills were pretty tame in terms of the fact that there wasn't that much blood. I did like the saw blades to one zombie's chest and you saw gut and entrails burst out one side. We get the guy with the pitchfork shotgun. I like the psycho boss, but there was too much time spent on other characters which weren't too important. There should have been other psychopaths, like the clown at the beginning probably should have been a psychopath.
I thought he was.
This actually, it gave me the enjoyment and the fun of having a Dead Rising experience.
But that's just like saying World War Z was alright.
World War Z was alright in terms of the fact that it had brilliant special effects. That was it. Brilliant special effects. Yes, you can argue the special effects.
I can argue, but because Cardiff.
Yeah,
they go to Cardiff.
Cardiff isn't a special effect. In World War Z, there's millions of zombies, which is brilliant. Which is what Dead Rising the movie is lacking.
Yeah,
the vistas of just zombies everywhere.
Yeah, that's it. That's what this film was missing. I enjoyed the Frank West scenes to start off with because it broke me away from the crap that I was actually having to sit through. It was fun to go and see Frank West, but after a while, I don't know if it's Rob Riggle or the way that his character was written, but it really just started to grate on me. You know, it would cut back and he'd have a funny one line and, you know, he'd say some cool stuff about zombie killing, and then it would cut back to the boring stuff of the actual film, and then it would cut back to him and he's got another one line and he's talking about more ways of killing people, and I really wanted him to get involved because he's a Dead Rising character. It's like watching Tomb Raider but having Lara Croft on the phone. You know, it's not right. You should have the character in the story. I kept wanting Frank to turn up and help Chase out. Because I wanted Chase to die. I wanted Crystal to die. I wanted Maggie to die. I wanted the camera woman to die. I wanted all the military people to die. I wanted the boss to die. I wanted everybody to die and turn into more zombies to give me more waves of zombies so that I could actually sit there and go, yeah, I can see what they're trying to do. But they just didn't execute it well.
I definitely recommend Dead Rising Watchtower only to Dead Rising gamers. This as a film works as the adaptation of that franchise. Yes, it is not a AAA blockbuster Hollywood movie. It is a small independent feature movie that's gone straight to cable, straight to network, straight to DVD, and it will be enjoyed by the fans of the game franchise.
Don't listen to this crazy bastard. He doesn't know anything what he's talking about. This thing, it's not even a film. This should have been a web-based series. It fades to black so many times that's where it should have ended or cut to an advert break or something else. This is not a good representation of Dead Rising. Playing the Dead Rising games gives you, the player, something to enjoy. We all played as Frank differently over our different gameplays. We all played as Chuck, and I think it's Carlos from the third game. We played as the characters completely differently. Yes, each one of those games we had to go out and save these people. We didn't have to. We could have just run around and killed thousands of zombies, because that's what we came to play a zombie game for, to kill zombies. This doesn't have that. It has far too many conversational pieces. It just goes to points which just ended so badly. It is really, really bad. Don't watch it.
Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.
Fourth thing, kids. Remember to build weapons. Lots of weapons.